So we continue with metallurgy. We have up till now seen the different processes of metallurgy and the complete process of aluminium extraction. So that was the main part of the chapter. Now we have a small part of the chapter, that is the last part, that is about the alloys. Now we very well know that alloy is a mixture. Now because it is a mixture, that's why the two important thing is that they alloys में सबसे पहले the number or the percentage of the presence of the metal is not in a fixed quantity. Okay, it will vary. And secondly is whatever is the constituents which are there, their properties are going to be retained, and hence what we are trying to do is enhance the property of the main element of that particular alloy. So by mixing two or three different elements, we are trying to improvise on the properties of that particular combined mixture thing. So alloy is a substance prepared by adding other metals or non-metals to a base metal. So the main thing is that the main number of the, we can say that the highest percentage of element जो उसके अंदर present है, that becomes the main metal. So either it could be copper or zinc or aluminium, okay, depending upon the thing, it will be the main element, main base element or base metal, in appropriate proportion to obtain certain desirable properties. It is usually made by melting the components together and solidifying the mixture. So normally it is done this way, that you take copper, you take zinc, you can take it and then heat it up, melt it and then stir करके उसको ठंडा कर दिया तो automatically it forms into a compound, it is forming into a mixture, and because they are metals, they are not going to react chemically, and that's why they are not going to form into a compound, they are going to remain in the form of a mixture. Its components must be miscible in liquid state and not separate on solidification. So important thing is that it should not happen that when these components are used, the components which are used, it should not happen that when they are heated and they are melting, they at that time they are immiscible. So if they are immiscible, तो फिर क्या होगा? They are not going to get mixed up, and that's why जब ये cool होंगे तो अब दोनों separate हो जाएंगे अपने आप. So reason, the main purpose, or we can say the main step towards the formation of the alloy is that the ingredients which are there, the constituent mixed elements which are going to be used, should be miscible in the liquid state and they should remain mixed up when they are solidifying. Okay, when on solidification they should remain in a form of a mixture. They should not happen that when they are solidifying, one gets solidified faster and other gets solidified later, and that's why they are separating out, and hence there is an upper layer of something and lower layer of something. Thirdly, its properties are intermediate between those of the metal composing them. So yeah, the alloy का main ये the property will be intermediate, because when you are using some addition to a particular compound, तो automatically क्या हो रहा है? Like for example, if I want some properties of copper and at the same time I want some copper properties of tin in it, तो क्या होगा? Copper मुझे थोड़ा परसेंटेज ऑफ कॉपर कम करना पड़ेगा तभी जाके मैं टिन ऐड कर सकता हूँ. सो व्हेन आई एम एडिंग टिन टू दैट कॉपर, automatically I am sacrificing certain properties of copper and enhancing certain properties from tin, and overall what we get is a value or the properties which are intermediate between the elements which are the constituent elements, but of course it is for the benefit that we require it that way, that's why we are doing it. So there is the properties are intermediate between the metals composing them. Amalgam is an alloy in which the base metal is mercury. So Na mercury, that is liquid amalgam. Zinc and mercury is the another amalgam used in voltaic cells. So amalgam, so whenever you see here the name amalgam, so amalgams are basically the one which are having mercury as one of the metal present in the alloy. So any alloy which has got mercury in it will be an amalgam. Normally the two alloys of mercury will be of the zinc and sodium. Also silver का भी होता है, silver amalgam. Anyway, So first thing is, now let us see some alloys of copper and zinc. Okay, so the ones which are made from copper and zinc are brass, bronze, German silver, gunmetal, and bell metal. So the constituent wise, the brass is made up of copper and zinc only. The base metal is of course copper, and zinc is added to it. The ratio is copper will be from 60 to 80%, and zinc according will be 40 to 20%. So when only copper and zinc is there, it is brass. Okay, copper and zinc gives you brass. But if I add some tin to it, okay, just 19% of tin and 1% of zinc, means I am reducing the zinc, and instead of zinc I am adding tin to it, then it becomes bronze. Okay, so bronze will be copper about 80%, zinc 1%, and tin only will be balance 19%. Then is German silver. Okay, we'll also see the properties at the same time, so it is easier to understand. So brass जो हम लोग ने देखा, that is copper and zinc, it is hard, lustrous, easily castable, and malleable and ductile. See, we know that zinc is a non-malleable and non-ductile element. We had learned that when we saw the differentiation between metals and non-metals. So here what we are doing is that we are using zinc, adding it to copper, so that the malleability and ductility is available for something which is having zinc in it. Okay, so it is hard, lustrous, easily castable, malleable, and ductile. And the uses of this will be in electrical fittings, decorative articles. So that is about brass. We know very well. जो नल आते हैं, Jaguar fittings and all, they are all brass made. So they are all made up of brass. Bronze, again hard, but it is brittle and takes up polish. So the main difference between brass and bronze is that bronze can take up polish, and that's why the medals are made up of bronze. You know, gold, silver, bronze. Why bronze? Because bronze has got that luster, that particular shine or a polish, which gives you an attractive feeling. So that's why it is used for making statues, medals, and coins. The next is German silver, which is made up of copper 50%, zinc 30%, and nickel 20%. Okay, now of course the question you will be asking is that, sir, do we need to learn the percentage also? No, not required. You need not learn the percentage, but yes, you should know that what are the constituents of that particular compound or the alloy. So जर्मन सिल्वर में कॉपर, जिंक और निकल होता है, वो ध्यान में रखना जरूरी है, पर कितना परसेंट क्या है, that it's okay, you need not learn that thing. So German silver is hard, silvery, and takes a polish, whereas it is used for decorative articles. So yeah, we have got German silver का बहुत सारे articles रहते हैं. So silver के बदले it is much cheaper, looks like silver, but it is much cheaper than that. Silver has a tendency to turn black, but German silver will not turn black because of the presence of the nickel in it. Next is gunmetal, that is copper 88%, zinc 1%, tin 10%, and Pb, lead, is 1%. It is hard, brittle, and easily castable. It is used for barrels and cannons. In bell metal, it is copper 80% and tin 20%. That is brittle, more sonorous than copper and tin. So sonorous means sound producing. Bell metal यानी क्या? जिससे bell बनते हैं. What is the need for that thing? Why does it need to be different? Because bell metal में जो sound जो आता है, the echo and the sound which is going to be produced is much more important. That's why it needs to be more sonorous. It's called sonorous. So bell metal has got high amount of sonorous. It is very much sonorous, and that's why it is better. But it is brittle in nature, and it is used for bells and gongs. The next we see are the alloys of aluminium or magnesium also. So aluminium and magnesium combined. Alloys of which are called as dura-alumin or magnesium. So dura-alumin, it has got 95% aluminium, 0.5% magnesium, 0.5% manganese, and copper is 4%. Okay, so that is dura-aluminum. The property is, because of the presence of aluminium, it imparts it lightweight. Okay, it imparts lightness, but magnesium imparts strength. So एल्यूमिनियम की ने जो स्ट्रेंथ कम था वो मैग्नीशियम ने ओवरकम किया. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज द वन विच इज गिविंग यू अ लाइट वेट मेटल but strong, and hence it is used in aircrafts, light tools, cooker, etc. Magnesium is aluminum 95% and magnesium 5%, and this is light, hard, tough, corrosion resistant. Magnesium will be lightweight, hard, strong, tough, and corrosion resistant. Again, used for aircrafts and for scientific tools. The next one are lead alloys or solder, fused metal, and type metal. Solder is Pb, lead which is 50% and tin which is 50%. Equal amount of lead and tin mixed together to form the solder, or also called as the fused metal, जिससे वो fuse बनते थे. जो olden days में जो electrical fuse थे, it was made up of fused metal. So solder, it is, the reason is that tin lowers the melting point of the alloy. And the melting point of the alloy is 180 degrees Celsius. So you can see we want that any particular solder, when you are using solder, is just to use to soldering करते हैं. soldering करने के लिए जो PCB में जो soldering वगैरह करते हैं, चिपकाते हैं components को by the liquid metal. So that is at 180 degrees Celsius. That's why it is easy to use a solder material, because the melting point is 180 degrees Celsius. Similarly, a fuse में भी वही होगा कि melting point is very low, and because the melting point is low, जैसे ही current increase हो जाएगा, it will melt immediately and will switch off the device. So that is why it is used as fuse metal or solder. It is used as electrical fuse or soldering purposes. Type metal is जो टाइपराइटर हुआ करते थे, तो टाइपराइटर में जो टाइपिंग के लिए जो ये लगता था, विच इज, और इवन फॉर प्रिंटिंग इंडस्ट्री दे यूज दैट पर्टिकुलर ब्लॉक्स. सो टाइपिंग ब्लॉक्स के लिए दे यूज दिस मेटल विच इज टाइप मेटल, विच इज lead is 75%, tin is 5%, and antimony is 20%. So tin and antimony lowers melting point, enhancing castability and enhances expansion capacity of solidification, which is used for printing blocks. Lastly is the iron alloys, the stainless steel, nickel steel, and tungsten steel. Stainless steel, iron is 75%, nickel is 10%, chromium is 15%, and carbon is 5%, 0.5% non-metal. And stainless steel, mainly the nickel and the chromium imparts luster, and the carbon imparts hardness, and also the nickel and chromium also gives it a non-corrosive kind of a property. So that's why it is stainless steel. So why it is stainless? Because steel normally, if it is steel, normal steel, then it is going to get corroded, and then will be stains of the corrosion stains on it. तो ये क्या है, stainless. Stainless क्यों बोलते हैं? क्योंकि उसमें corrosion नहीं हो सकता है, यानी those kind of vessels and all will never have any corrosion taking place or any rusting taking place. So that's why it is stainless steel. Used in utensils, cutlery, autos, surgical instruments. And then is nickel steel, elastic. Nickel imparts high tensile strength, and it is used for cables, aircraft parts. So that is about the alloys which are there for you to learn and know what it is. So if you see the summary of this particular chapter, so you know the metals का differentiation आ गया, metal and non-metal के बीच में. उसमें we need to understand the exceptions which are there in the metals and non-metals, very important part. Secondly is the occurrence of the metals, so in the mineral and the ore and वो gangue वगैरह जो details are, and the different ores of the zinc and iron and aluminium that you need to learn. And then the extraction steps, that is the dressing of the ore and then conversion of the concentrate ore into its oxides, and then metallic oxides reduction, and then pure refining, electro refining. Then we had the complete extraction of the aluminium, that was the dressing of the ore using the BS process, and then there was the Hall-Héroult process, and finally was electro refining by the Hope process. And then is the alloys. So the alloys were brass, bronze, German silver, gunmetal, and bell metal of zinc and copper alloys. Aluminum alloys were duralumin and the magnesium. Yeah, over here there is one more which is given over here, that is Alnico. Alnico is, that is aluminum, nickel, cobalt, and iron. It is light, shiny, and corrosion resistant. It is used for making magnets. So Alnico is used for making magnets. The lead alloys are solder and tight metal, and in iron alloys are stainless steel, nickel steel, and tungsten steel. Now tungsten steel, again, it is not there in the earlier part of the chapter, but is there in the summary. That is tungsten steel, that is iron, tungsten, and the carbon. Very hard and corrosion resistant, and high speed machine parts are going to be using such kind of material, which is tungsten steel. Apart from this, there are certain properties of metal which are only for reference as such. So the reaction of metals with air, that is oxygen or water or chlorine, so that is what they are given over here. Not too important to learn, but go through this thing because many times it helps you when you are going to be given a question that how to convert from one compound to another compound, like ZnS to ZnSO4, और वो जब भी करते हैं ना तो कभी ये directly equation यहाँ से अपने को easily मिल जाता है. So that's why it is better to just go through it properly so that you know what are the reactions taking place, and you know that how to convert certain thing to certain thing. वो थोड़ा easy पड़ेगा, and especially when it is directly metal with this reacting with anything. But as such, is only for reference, not for learning. And uses of metals में aluminium is there again. So uses of metals is only for reference again. It is aluminium is used for utensils, paints, packaging, electrical cables, alloys, which is used in aeroplanes, thermite welding. So good conductor. Aluminum is a good conductor of heat, cheap and unaffected by food acids. It is used for paints because it is endocorrosive. Packaging में because it is light and bright appearance. Aluminum foil. Electrical cables because it is a good conductor of electricity. In alloys because it is becoming light and high structural strength and corrosion resistance. And as thermite welding. Now what is thermite welding is? Thermite mixture of Fe2O3 and aluminium used for welding broken ends. So aluminium, a strong reducing agent. Now why we are using thermite welding is, how we are using aluminium in thermite welding is because aluminium is the strong reducing agent. So what it does is that aluminium reduces the iron oxide, the Fe2O3 what we are using in thermite welding, it is going to reduce that thing and convert it into Fe, and it is going to melt it and pour it as a mixture, as a material in welding. So that's why it reduces Fe2O3 to Fe, which fills the gap. Zinc is used for galvanizing. Zinc coated on iron sheets prevent iron from rusting, and zinc is more electropositive than iron and forms Zn ions easily than Fe. So that is why we are using galvanized pipes and all. So pipes are normally galvanized. The silver color is there. Why galvanization? Because अगर iron का pipe रहेगा तो rust हो जाएगा, corrode हो जाएगा. तो उसके बदले zinc coated अगर रहेगा तो zinc becomes a kind of a protective coating on the iron. So that is called as galvanization. So coating of the zinc on iron is called as galvanization, which is helping to stop corrosion of iron. Pig iron is for pipes gutter covers. So that is the wrought iron or pig iron, which is molten iron obtained from extraction solidified to give pig iron. Pig iron contains impurities and hence most of it is converted into steel. Pig iron easily casts and expands on solidification. So that's why it is used for gutter covers and also very normally uses, not so hi-fi uses, the cast iron or pig iron. And finally, steel is machine and ships. Steel has high structural strength, is malleable and ductile. So that is why it is much more used for metal. So this was about the complete chapter metallurgy. Yeah. So quite important because एक particular part में metallurgy का 5 marks का तो minimum आता ही है. So that's why, and of course in the initial part, that is the 40 marks part of there is one question of 5 marks. So yeah, it is important as such. So that was about the chapter metallurgy. Okay, thank you.